Hello and welcome to episode 112, entitled Enhancing Relationships Through Effective Communication. For me, I would have to define what defines a good relationship. What is a good relationship based upon? What's the foundation of a good relationship? My name is Gary Verheller, and I'll be your host for what we call the Substance of Living podcast. Today, we'll look at what we call life's lessons. And I hope this will provide you with some insight, maybe even some inspiration to life's challenges. To me, every human relationship is based upon friendship. Let me say that again. Every human relationship, for me, is based upon friendship. We all have different levels of friends. So the question becomes, what makes a good friend? A good friend, a truly good friend, really listens to you. They listen to you because they want your success. They celebrate your success. They're there when you have trouble or when you're in time of need. That's what a good friend does. A good friend is focused on you. A good friend focuses on the friend and what they need. In leadership, a good leader, 80% of the time of a good leader is listening. Only 20% is speaking. Why? Because the leader knows, I cannot do this job by myself. I depend on my staff. So, in order for me to find out how I can help my staff be successful, because if my staff is successful, I'm successful. I have to listen to them. I have to ask questions. I have to understand what they're dealing with, each person, what they need to be successful, and then supply that and support them with that and get them the training they need so that they can be successful. Well, friendship is the same thing. Friendship is truly thinking about the other person, listening to the other person, empathizing with the other person. Let's stop and think about that for a minute. Sympathy, empathy, apathy. Sympathy, same root word as symphony, doing the same. Sympathy is based upon my feelings. I'm sorry. That's sympathy, focused on me. I'm sorry to hear that. Sympathy. Empathy is, are you okay? The focus is on the friend, not on me. So I'm not saying sympathy is bad. In the beginning, if somebody says, my dog died, just say, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Then shift to empathy. Are you okay? Having such a close friend pass can be very difficult. What can I do to help you? How can I help you with this? That's empathy. Apathy means you don't care. The prefix a means not or no. Pathy means feelings, by the way. So apathy is used usually in times of emergency. Get out of the building now. Danger. So you want to empathize, usually, most of the time, empathize with your friend and listen, 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 listen. That's good communication. That's effective communication. One of the projects and one of the homework that I give to my executives, I'll say, I want you to write out what your knowledge is, what you've learned, what your skills are, what you've learned to do, what your abilities are, what you've learned to do well, and what your interests are, what drives you, what do you love doing, what are your passions? And I'll say, bring it back next week. And they'll come back with a written report. And almost always the knowledge, what they've learned, they learned at university. So I say, oh, so you learned nothing in high school. You've learned nothing in junior high or elementary school. You learned nothing from your parents, nothing from your friends. I didn't even think about that. Send them back. This time I'll say, tell me what you've learned, knowledge, Tell me what you've learned to do, skills. Tell me what you've learned to do well, abilities, and tell me of your interests, what you love to do, what your passions are. In 3 categories: from education, from work, and from life. And my suggestion is do it chronologically. At least for me, that's the way I can remember better. If I think, okay, before I went to kindergarten, when I was in elementary school, when I was in high school, when I was at university, or location. The idea is I'm showing the executive how difficult it is to know yourself, and you know yourself better than anyone else. So if you want to be a true friend, you have to work at really listening to your friend and learning who they are. It's a challenge. And it's also wonderful because you learn to see the world through other people's eyes. The world starts to open. Your perspective starts to broaden because you've actually listened. And as a result, you've enhanced the relationship. This is what happens. It's a series of events. And I've talked about this in the past, and it's still true. You start to recognize, oh, this person did a pretty good job. Oh, you're showing recognition of quality. Oh, that they did it again. They're doing quality work. Now that's ongoing. And respect starts to build for that person. You've got recognition and now respect. That's ongoing. Once you've got recognition and respect, now you've got trust. Once you've got recognition, all of these continue, by the way. They don't, no one of these stop. Once you've got recognition, respect, trust, now you have loyalty. Now those are ongoing. What comes after loyalty? Friendship. And what's the final thing? Love. Recognition, respect, trust, loyalty, love. If you really want to improve your relationship, listen, learn how the other person sees the world. It will enrich your perspective. And again, have you reflect on your own perspective. It enriches your life too. Hope you have a good time listening. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today for the Substance of Living podcast. If you'd be kind enough to consider subscribing, you can contact us through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or connect on Twitter. Join us again next time for what I hope will help you navigate life.